Hey y'all, it is Taylor Bridges here, back with another review. New show alert. Put a ring on it. It's back. This is season 4, episode 1. New Doctor Who Dis. Okay, I'm excited the show is back. I'm hoping that the couples are interesting and that the dates are entertaining. There's a new doctor this season, Dr. Stacy. So we're going to have to see how we're feeling about her, because Dr. Nicole was great on the show. I thought she advised the couples well. But I do think there's something else that Dr. Nicole was missing. So I'm excited, intrigued to see what Dr. Stacy brings this season. We start off with all the couples meeting with Dr. Stacy. Dr. Stacy tells them of her story. She says she's got into relationship coaching because of her mom, who'd been married 5 times. Her grandmother had been married 3 times. Her dad had been married several times. And that when her mom was on her deathbed at 56, mid-divorce, she told Stacy that love works. And that resonated with Dr. Stacy and brought her to where she is now. I thought that was a cool story. What a reason to pursue, I guess, relationship coaching. So, fine. I'm already loving how Dr. Stacy is more involved emotionally with the couples than Dr. Nicole was, which could help the couples feel heard, empathized with, and understood. Now each of the couples are taking turns introducing themselves. So first up, we have Chance and Dunbar. I feel like I've seen Chance on TV somewhere before. She looked really familiar. Dunbar is a former NFL player. They've been dating for a year so far. On their first date, she ended up getting ill and had to get to the hospital. It turned out to be complications with her appendix, but she describes Dunbar to have been very nurturing and concerned and caring about her during that time. And part of the issue that they're having is that Dunbar doesn't feel that care, concern, and hospitality in return from Chance. He wants her to be more domestic, and that's not Chance's style. But, pardon me, based on what they described to Dr. Stacy, it's not a matter of her not catering to Dunbar. It's her not doing it when he wants her to. Based on what they described. Does she have a job? Is she a homemaker? Because why can't you light your own candles, Dunbar? How are you expecting to train a 30-something-year-old on being domestic? That's a fundamental trait that needs to be sorted out in the beginning when dating somebody. Because here y'all are a year later, and y'all both are grown, like extremely grown. Joya and Jasha are the next couple. They've been together 2 years. They travel a lot together. She's ready for marriage at this point, but he wants to push the commitment out 2.5 to 3 years, which is ridiculous enough on its own. But also, she mentioned how it pushed her into her 40s and she wants to have kids. Joya needs to listen to the timeline that Jasha has set out. And she either needs to get with it or she needs to move on. But I can't stand when people complain and whine about a truth that their partner has laid down. Jasha has made it clear what his plan is. You don't want to force him to be ready any sooner than what he already is. So decide what you want for yourself. And if y'all don't align, then move on with your life. But he's not responsible for your uterus and your womb and your ability to have kids. That's not his responsibility, ultimately. Ricky and Catherine are the third couple. They've been together for 2 years, but they've known each other for over a decade. They have the most history with each other than all the couples. I think Ricky's hair looked a mess, and he had the audacity to have braids in some sort of design. His braids were put in some type of braid design. Ricky doesn't want to get married yet because he's already been married and it hadn't worked out well. In fact, he said it worked out terribly. Before, once again, that's a fundamental issue that should have been worked out in the beginning. If somebody says that they're not ready for this and that, either if he's been communicating this, you say, Either, yes, I'm okay with him not knowing what he wants with me, not knowing if he wants to get married, or no, I want to get married. He's not sure about it. Let me not waste my time, because off rip, you're rolling the dice on getting with something that you ultimately want. So I don't have empathy. I don't have empathy or sympathy for Catherine's behind either. The women will start off the process by going on their dates with the men. Chance is the first we see go on her date. I like her and Dunbar's home. It looks like a lived-in home and not like an Airbnb that most of these people on this show use when they come. It looked like it might have had a basement underneath, but we saw like the first level looked like pretty common, and really like the most lived-in parts are downstairs. Maybe the home looked about 3 stories, possibly. It also suggested that if Dunbar bought that home before getting with Chance, that he's been using his NFL money wisely. Chance came out looking really cute. She came out super cute. She doesn't have to do much, though, He wants to set some boundaries, but she tells him to trust her and that all will be fine. Her date, Phil, arrives. He's cute, but he's 32. So I'm already knowing this won't be worth it. He's too young. Once Dunbar lets him in, he tells Phil that Chance is his future wife, so to treat her with the utmost respect. And I wasn't mad at it. Chance, your man loves you. So if we don't see some clear reasons why Chance won't marry Dunbar, she's going to end up missing out on something good. Because he seemed at this point in the show to be really into her. He asks Philip if he has his father in his life. And by that point, I'm like, okay, Dunbar, you sound more like Chance's like dad than her man. Like, relax. But, Phil ended up being cool. Dunbar was complimenting Phil on his attire, his scent, and his demeanor, and I thought that was respectable of Dunbar. It was the least he could do. Phil is being a good sport so far. Dunbar asked Phil to bring him back some to-go food. I probably would have did the same thing. Did y'all catch Dunbar's yellow side tooth? Like all his fronts were white, so that lets you know that that's some extreme buildup. Like on that one tooth. Like it's not like a stain, because like the other teeth are white. It's just like you like missing that specific tooth. Ugh. Like that's gross. Dunbar, please brush your tooth. I do not want to look at that all season. But he's being extra. He's putting her shoes on her feet. Praying with him. He's holding the guy's hand. He's having Chance hold on to his chest. He's acting real crazy. The prayer was crazy, threatening Phil. Look, Dunbar's tactic. If Dunbar's tactic was to push Phil away, if I were Phil, it would have worked. Okay, all this, no, not worth it. But it did make me excited to see how the date was gonna go. Dunbar goes outside with him. I'm like, Dunbar, go back inside. All he was missing was a robe, a roller set, house shoes. Standing there like he's Chance's mom, but he was just being really silly. When they get to the date, Phil is trying to hold Chance's hand right out the gate. He immediately starts acting his age, which is expected, and just showing how just all over the place he is. When she asks why he's single, he says he's still trying to find himself. And that's just the quickest way to ask for the check on a date. Like, check please. No, thank you. Like, they're letting their food get cold. And that made me uncomfortable. Like, eat. Like, why don't these people on these shows, like the producers, let them eat and talk afterwards? Like, you just letting a full plate of food just sit there. Like, just take a second, eat. If y'all can't talk and eat. She opens up about being raised by her dad, and I wonder if we'll find out if that contributes to why she's just not so domestic. And, she doesn't seem to place the same value in getting married that most of us women do. But isn't it kind of crazy how men chase women like how we always, like, a lot of women complain that men are the ones that don't want to settle down, right? Isn't it crazy how there are like men that really chase behind women for commitment that don't want to be tied down? Like, when there are billions of women begging to be tied down and wifed up and stuff, you know? I don't get why people just don't get, like, mate with someone that wants the same things as them. Like, it just, I don't get that. Like, it's not difficult. Like, why not just get with someone that honors and values the same level of commitment as you? There's a lot of people. Like, a lot of people to choose from. Phil is cute, but he needs to take care of his skin. You know, if he has such a good job, like he says, and he's driving this Camaro, he can afford an esthetician. Has out of all the girls he's dealt with, none of them have mentioned that to him. Because so far he's charming, but he's not as charming as he thinks he is. Like, he's not. He thinks he's doing something he's not. And he's clearly there for a good time and a fun experience. Nothing more. He's not fooling anybody. She starts bragging on how great of a man Dunbar is and how, you know, he is really that catering dude to her, putting on her shoes, being a gentleman, and all of that on a normal basis. And it seems like Dunbar is the king she wants, but she's not the queen he wants. And I'm not judging them for it, but even as good as she claims Dunbar is to her, it's clearly not enough to get her to take on that domestic side that he's requiring of her. I'm not saying that she should. I'm just saying he's not good enough to give him what he wants out of you. I think Chance and Phil, they just have a playful vibe. Like, that's really it. Like, there's no romance. I already predicted, you know, this even before they even met, that this date wouldn't go anywhere. So I'm going to stand by that prediction. Because remember, I take notes on the show as I watch it. So when I state a prediction, it's because while I was taking notes, I hadn't yet seen the rest of the episode play out yet. And that was my thought process as I was watching it, right? Phil brings Chance back home, and Dunbar's being all extra. Phil brought him some French fries. I'm like, good. That's all he deserves, some French fries. I wouldn't be surprised if it would be nasty, though, if those were the French fries off of Dunbar's plate. But, I mean, off Phil's plate, but I'm sure they're not. I do like Chance and Dunbar together, though. I do. Like, they remind me, like, they're of, like, how my man, we're, like, playful and affectionate as well. Like, I love that, like, if I want to have a good time, like, my man is my most reliable company, you know? They seem to really enjoy each other's company, which is amazing to have in a relationship. I just wish they mutually gave the other what they wanted. So I'm kind of straddling the fence on them so far. Jaisha and Joya are in a high-rise place. Joya's top looks cute. I don't think I can take the kind of hair she's wearing the entire season, so I do hope she switches it up. I have a feeling there are much flattering styles on her because she has a big face and a big head, and the wig isn't helping. She's a beautiful woman, though. I like both of their names. Like, what a coincidence to have two unique J names, Joya and Jaisha. That's really cool. Her date, Kyle, has arrived. He's of a particular age. He's 48 years old. I'm already thinking this is going to be a no. A 50-year-old on a show about being the side dude to a woman trying to get her man to propose to her is immature. He should have signed up for something like Ready to Love, you know. But honestly, I was like, I bet he did. He just didn't get chosen because they're on the same network and everything, you know. So this show is for like a confused young person. Like, leave this foolishness to these 30-year-olds. Don't get in the midst of this, please. The men are talking their stuff. Jaisha and Kyle going back and forth. Nothing too serious. Then Joya and Kyle are out the door. Kyle calls Joya his future wife when he asks the hostess for a table of two, one for me and my future wife. And I'm with Joya. It's too much. It's childish. Like, you on games. And I called it with him too before they even met that this date would go nowhere. You don't even know her. Y'all haven't even had a conversation yet. So stop including yourself in her future after y'all haven't even said two sentences to each other so far. It's giving you just trying to be, you're being fake. You're trying to compete and be on TV and not form no type of serious connection. He kind of looked like Tory Lane's dad. He says he has one child and takes care of that child's brothers and sisters as well, since their dad passed away. And I think that was a pretty honorable, kind gesture. Joya has a child, an 11-year-old herself, so she's now wanting another child with Jaysha. And I wonder if Jaysha has a child. But Joy ended up taking to Kyle much more than I expected. Like, she's seeing a warm energy to him, and that's valid if that's what she's picking up from him. But he keeps making it worse with these aggressive comments. You know, he has something on his lip and talking about, I want you on my lips. How many people need to be seated at the table? A chair for me and my future wife. Like, calm down. When she gets home, she's all smiling, telling Jaysha how the date went. I don't know why she told him about wiping the crumb off Kyle's face. She was just trying to make him jealous, right? But I'm like, Joya, brace yourself, because when it's Jaysha's time, he's going to cut up. Or if he cuts up, I don't want to hear it. Catherine is about to head out on her date. Her glam is lacking out the gate. So I'm you know, hoping it improves. Mark is her date. He's a handsome dude. He has beautiful teeth and a smile. He's an IT recruiter. He seemed sweet. He was dressed comfortable and stylish. Not doing too much. He brought some flowers. He jokes with Ricky when Ricky answers the door, saying he hoped Ricky wasn't his date. I thought that was funny because, look, these days you do have to ask, okay? I'm baffled that Ricky has these struggle braids really put in a braid design. I think Catherine is going to end up having a nice time with Mark. And I predicted that it's going to be nice enough where she's going to want a second date with him, for sure. When they get to their date, they're in super casual clothes. More so Catherine than Mark. But they aren't doing anything physical, like any physical activity. So I was anticipating something active to pop off at some point. But they just sat there with their juices the whole time, just talking and opening up and getting to know each other, which I'm not mad at either, honestly. Those are like the best dates. When you can, it's like those first initial dates, when y'all just talking and talking and talking and talking. Like, that's how you know you really like someone, when you all can just link up and not really have any distractions of activities and stuff. Y'all just sit down, get right to it, and start talking. Mark has one child from a previous marriage, and Catherine's man, Ricky, has a child. Catherine doesn't have any children of her own. Mark says that his daughter is a gamer, and he likes that Catherine games too. Mark was starting to feel Catherine, and I was happy about that, because I'm not advocating for these couples trying to force themselves to stay together when they don't want the same things. So I'm glad Catherine is experiencing another man that can potentially give her what she wants out of a partner, or at least show her that there are options out there. And Mark says he's confident he's going to get a second date and that Ricky should be worried, and I agree. All the couples are now back with Dr. Stacy to recount the dates. And I'm glad Dr. Stacy clocked Dunbar acting like Chance's father. And Dunbar says he feels like he should have a right to choose who he lets her out of the house with, who he allows her to spend time with. And I think as her man, his opinion is valued, but he doesn't control her. She can talk to whoever she pleases, technically. And just that quickly, I see why she won't marry him. But she's insinuating that his behavior is okay. So she doesn't see what we see. So then why are y'all here? Clearly, Dunbar wants structure and control. Chance does not maneuver that way, nor does Chance, but Chance also doesn't see him wanting it that way. So that explains why they're still going strong. They're delusional. They're in their own delusion. She likes his aggression. But the other couples agreed, just saw it how we saw it, that it could be disrespectful. I mean, Dunbar was sunning Phil. Like he was talking to Phil like he was his little mentee from a youth program. And Chance, do you want another perspective or not? Why are y'all here? because she was combative with Dr. Stacy. So if everyone in the room, if Dr. Stacy is wrong, if both couples, if everyone sees an issue but you, don't you think you could stand the chance of hearing, at least just hearing out what people have to say, at least giving a nod to another theory? Why are you here then? If y'all are so great together and love the way, you know, the other is through and through, why do y'all need to date other people? But the first episode was okay. It wasn't like that dramatic. I'm hoping these couples give. So far, they seem like they could be a little lackluster. So I don't know if they're gonna be that entertaining and like dramatic the way we're used to. But that might not be a bad thing. So we are gonna see. But I thank you so much for tuning in. Please like, comment, subscribe to my channel. Give me your feedback. What couples do you like? Do you think Dunbar is controlling the way I do, the way Dr. Stacy does, the way the other couples do, or do you not see it like Chance? Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see y'all later.